Tutankhamun, Discovery, Treasures, and the Curse, the Boy King of Egypt Part 3. It is November 1922. In the Valley of the Kings, the desert wind blows across the ancient tombs. For years, archaeologists have searched here, and many believe nothing more can be found. One man refuses to give up, Howard Carter. And then, one afternoon, his workers uncover a hidden staircase buried beneath rubble. At the bottom lies a sealed doorway, stamped with the royal seals of Egypt. What Carter is about to open will stun the world. A forgotten boy, King Tutankhamun, will rise from the sands of time to become the most famous pharaoh in history. This is the story of the discovery, treasures, and the curse of Tutankhamun. Forgotten for millennia, for over 3,000 years, Tutankhamun had been forgotten. His name was erased from monuments. Later, pharaohs like Horemheb and Ramses II overshadowed him. Historians in antiquity barely mentioned him, but his tomb, small, hastily prepared, hidden beneath the rubble of later construction, remained untouched. Unlike the grand tombs of Ramses or Seti, which were looted in ancient times, Tutankhamun's resting place survived, waiting to be discovered. Howard Carter's obsession. Howard Carter was an English archaeologist with relentless determination. For years, he worked in Egypt under the sponsorship of Lord Carnarvon, a wealthy aristocrat. By 1922, after nearly a decade of fruitless digging in the Valley of the Kings, Carnarvon was ready to abandon the search. But Carter begged for one last season. It was during this final chance that his workers stumbled upon a buried staircase. Carter immediately recognized its importance. Could this be the lost tomb of Tutankhamun? See wonderful things. On November 26, 1922, Carter stood before the sealed doorway. With trembling hands, he made a small hole, inserted a candle, and peered inside. His patron, Lord Carnarvon, asked anxiously, "Can you see anything?" Carter's reply became legendary. Yes, wonderful things. What he saw were golden shrines, chariots, statues, and treasures glimmering in the darkness. The tomb was virtually intact, the greatest discovery in the history of archaeology. The treasures of Tutankhamun's tomb, contained over 5,000 artifacts. Each object told a story about ancient Egypt, its beliefs, and the life of the young king. Golden thrones. One throne shows Tutankhamun and Ankhesenamun in an intimate scene, the queen anointing him with perfume, a rare depiction of affection in Egyptian art. Chariots and weapons. Though his health made it unlikely he ever fought, his tomb was filled with finely crafted bows, shields, and chariots. These were symbols of royal power. Jewels and amulets, hundreds of necklaces, bracelets, and rings, each designed to protect the pharaoh in the afterlife. The meteorite dagger, a blade made from iron that fell from the heavens, literally forged from a meteorite. To the Egyptians, it was a divine weapon from the gods. Golden shrines. Large gilded shrines surrounded his sarcophagus, each covered with sacred texts and protective spells. Canopic jars. 4 golden jars held his internal organs, protected by goddesses carved in alabaster. And at the very heart of it, all the most iconic treasure of them all, the golden funerary mask. The golden mask, the mask of Tutankhamun, is one of the most recognizable artifacts in the world. Made of solid gold weighing over 10 kilograms, it is inlaid with lapis lazuli, quartz, turquoise, and obsidian. Its serene face shows the eternal image of the boy king, youthful, divine, unbroken. The mask was more than decoration. It was a magical shield designed to protect Tutankhamun's spirit in the afterlife and ensure his immortality. Ironically, while his body was frail and forgotten in life, the mask immortalized him for eternity. The curse of the pharaoh. Soon after the discovery, tragedy struck. Lord Carnarvon, the financier of the expedition, died suddenly in Cairo just months after the tomb was opened. He had been bitten by a mosquito, which became infected after he shaved. Newspapers across the world exploded with sensational headlines. Death comes to those who disturb the pharaoh. Rumors spread of an inscription on the tomb walls. Death shall come on swift wings to him who disturbs the king's peace. Over the next decade, more deaths followed among those connected to the tomb. A British aristocrat died suddenly in London. An American financier fell ill. Another member of the team died of pneumonia. Though many of Carter's team lived long, healthy lives, The legend of the curse of the pharaoh took root. To the public, Tutankhamun was not just a pharaoh, he was a supernatural force reaching across the millennia. Science versus superstition. Modern science dismisses the idea of a curse. Many of the deaths were coincidences, exaggerated by the media. Some suggest that ancient bacteria or mold in the tomb may have posed health risks, but there's little evidence. And yet, the legend persists. Because the story of a curse fits so perfectly with Tutankhamun's mystique. A forgotten boy suddenly remembered. A tomb untouched for 3,000 years. A discovery that brings both glory and death. The curse turned archaeology into myth, and Tutankhamun into legend. Tutankhamun in the modern world. The treasures of Tutankhamun have since toured the globe, drawing millions of visitors. His mask, displayed in Cairo's Egyptian Museum, is one of the most photographed artifacts on Earth. In the 20th century, Tutmania swept the world. His image appeared in films, fashion, and art. Exhibitions of his treasures set attendance records in museums across Europe, America, and Asia. Tutankhamun became more than a pharaoh, he became a cultural icon, a symbol of mystery and ancient glory. The irony of immortality. The greatest irony of Tutankhamun's story is this. In life, he was a minor pharaoh. His reign was short. He built no great monuments. His successors erased his name. By all accounts, he should have been forgotten forever. And yet, because his tomb survived untouched, he is the most famous pharaoh in history. The boy king who could not walk without a cane now walks across the imagination of the world. The frail teenager who left no heirs now lives eternally in books, films, and museums. Tutankhamun, erased in life, was reborn in death. Conclusion. As we look upon the golden mask of Tutankhamun today, we see not just the face of a young ruler, but the reflection of an entire civilization. He was born in chaos, ruled in fragility, died in mystery, and, yet by accident of history, became immortal. Howard Carter's discovery in 1922 did more than uncover a tomb. It gave us a time capsule of ancient Egypt, preserved in gold and silence for over 3,000 years. And so, the story of Tutankhamun reminds us of one eternal truth. Kings may die, empires may fall, but history, if it is preserved, will never be forgotten. The boy king still reigns, not over Egypt, but over the hearts and imagination of the entire world.